time for Don't Have a Meltdown Monday, and we are getting into a topic that I think is a really interesting one on this show. We try to dive into topics that are outside the norm, that are something that you might not hear in a traditional show, and this is certainly one of them. Dr. Tammy Nelson is an author and sex therapist and writer of a book called Open Monogamy. Good morning, Dr. Nelson. Well, first of all, what does open monogamy even mean? It seems like that would be an oxymoron, but please explain.
Sure. Open monogamy means that you're in a committed or primary partnership or a marriage, and you have an open, flexible, fluid agreement that works for the two of you. And so you can change it up in any way you want. It's not really a traditional agreement. Maybe it's not your grandmother's monogamy, but it works for the both of you.
Okay, interesting. How do you come to this place? And do you come to this place if only one party wants it, or do both people have to say, I want to still be married to you, but I also want to experience other people?
Well, in most partnerships, there's what I call a monogamy gap. So one person usually wants something a little bit different than the other person, but that can be the opening of a conversation of like, what do you want monogamy to look like? I mean, even in like Ashley Madison, which is a married but dating website where there's 75 million people worldwide that are members, 72% of a recent survey said that they would like to try open relationships, but it doesn't really define what they mean by open relationships. So I think we have to have those conversations to decide, where on the monogamy continuum do you want to be? Does that mean you just want to talk about your fantasies? Maybe that's really open for some couples. Or do we actually want to have relationships with other people and still stay married? There's a lot that we can talk about there before we ever do anything and take anything into action.
What if somebody's watching this and like, okay, this is interesting to me. I want to stay married to my spouse, but I actually do want to date other people. What do they do? Book an appointment with a therapist? I mean, what would be the first step for something like this? I have to say it's very foreign to, I think, a lot of people.
Yeah, and it can be scary. So I think the first conversation is to talk about what's working in your relationship and not to point out like what's not working, because I don't think this is like a last chance savior conversation. Like, all right, things aren't working, but if we do this, we can maybe not break up. Like, this is not a trade your partner in for someone else relationship. This is, let's expand on what's already working and talk about what if we did this, what could be the potential problems, but what could be the potential positive outcome? And maybe you just have that conversation forever and it just juices things up and you never have to actually do anything. Maybe that's excitement enough.
Okay, bringing a little bit of excitement back. That's interesting. How does this work for the children, though? For people that have kids and then all of a sudden mom and dad are dating other people?
Well, I mean, I never say you should talk about your sex life to your kids. You have to decide as a couple, what does honesty and transparency mean to you? Monogamy used to be synonymous with morality. Today, it's really about honesty and integrity. So how you live as a couple, you really have to define for yourself and your family. And if you're in midlife and you're living your best second adolescence, that's up to you, but I would caution you to talk about it together and agree on how you want that to look.
So it's going to before just having an affair, you're going to the partner and saying, hey, this is sort of like where I'm at. Where are you at?
Yeah, an affair, is defined by totally lying. And
right.
Open monogamy is defined by honesty. So this is not, giving each other permission to have an affair. It's opening up the relationship to talk about what you want to do together or independently, but only if it's okay with both of you and if it works for the relationship.
Dr. Nelson, I have 3,000 more questions. But unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. I know you've got to go, but thank you for the time today. Really interesting topic of conversation, and I appreciate your insight after 35 years of being a therapist for couples.
Oh, please find me at my website, drtammynelson.com, and ask me more questions. I'd love to have an ongoing conversation.
Excellent. So here's the book, you guys. It's Open Monogamy, a guide to co-creating your ideal relationship agreement by Dr. Tammy Nelson. So it's talking about it ahead of time. You got to be really bold to go to your partner and say that, but she's speaking on like a higher level of honesty, I guess.
I mean, there may be people who secretly sort of maybe desire that and never discuss it or talk about it. I mean, they are in love. But as I'm listening to that, I'm thinking about that arrangement in the context of the social culture we live in, and especially when it comes to marriage, very tied to religious beliefs as a religious institution, right? And you go in for your premarital counseling with your pastor or your priest, whoever it might be. And that's very much entrenched in what monogamy is. And so you may desire it, think it, have a conversation about it, but then deal with all of the baggage that comes with having it tied so solidly to your religious faith.
The only thing I see this as a solution for is Miranda on Sex and the City in her current situation. If you guys are watching, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, maybe she could do that instead. Maybe this would be good instead of her getting a divorce. But
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know.
Steve's such a nice guy. They seem to be so in love. They've been through so much. And
who am I to say?
She doesn't necessarily want to be with somebody who's of the same sex. Does that make it different? There's a follow-up. There's your follow-up right there. There's your. We'll
I got
pin
another
3,000 questions of that. When we come back in a moment, a sad, sad Sunday as we learned of the death of